is somebody setting you up to fail. Now, what do I mean by that? I have a lot of people that just come to me and they want to get into the medical device sales space, and they've never sold anything before. They might not know if they enjoy selling, even. They don't know what it feels like to go ask for business over and over again and get told no day after day after day. And those are people that might be set up to fail if they moved into a sales role too early. So what can be done about that, and why do we even bring it up? I think it's always a good idea if you're going to shoot for a sales role in medical device that it might be a two-step process for you. You might need to go do something like I did and go to work for a Gallo or a Procter and Gamble or an ADP or a Centos, something that you can go out and pound the pavement a little bit and actually make sales calls, think about what you did right, what you did wrong, go out and make another one and another one and another one. One of the interesting things at Gallo that we had to do back when I first got started in my professional career is I had to make 40 sales calls a week, 8 every single day. And I had to document those and I had to roll those up to a manager. Well, you learn a lot about selling, you learn a lot about what you like, you learn a lot about what your style is. And moving too far too fast in a medical device sales role can certainly set some people up for failure. And I don't want to do that. And the way to avoid it is to make sure that the hiring manager is very honest with you about what it takes to do good in the role that they have open. And unfortunately, there's so many differences between medical device companies. I can't just definitively say if you have trait X, Y, and Z, that's going to do you very well in every single possible sales scenario. It's just not true. I do think that sales is probably 50% art and 50% science, at least. Those are arguable one way or another, but there is a lot of art to it. And when you're sitting down in an interview, either as a hiring manager or as a candidate, I think both of you should be very clear, very honest and open about what it is that you're looking for if you're the hiring manager, what it is that interests you if you're the candidate. Going into something just for money or just for prestige or any host of other things that don't involve your passions is probably not the best idea. Passion can overcome a lot of different things and or shortcomings, and having that is super important. But even more so is to have an honest conversation with the manager and know exactly what good looks like in the role, what traits are of people that are in the role currently and succeeding, because they're all a little bit different. So the other reason I bring this up is sometimes people will go to medical device college. They'll spend $30,000 to go there, and or they'll hire a coach to help them interview. And either sales college or the coach or the hiring manager in some cases doesn't take the time to learn what actually motivates the candidate. And they give them some great pointers. They put them in the right direction. Like I, as a coach, can help people get into a role, but if we as a group don't make sure that new people coming in have motivations that align with the job at hand, you're going to have high turnover. And you don't want high turnover. As a matter of fact, it's pretty standard across the board that you want somewhere between 15 and 20% annual turnover. I think that's too high. I like to beat that number if I can. I know I've heard that number thrown around a lot in the medical device business, and maybe it's right. I don't know, but I do know that I would like to have a lower number than that, and I think I can avoid it by properly matching somebody's motivations with the role at hand. So if you're a candidate, make sure that your motivations are well defined in your head. So when you're sitting down with the hiring manager, that you can talk about the things that motivate you. You don't have to wait until a hiring manager asks you what your motivators are. You can bring them up when it's time to talk about questions. and or time to ask questions. And hiring managers, this is not something that's a quick process. If you're doing it right in an interview, it should take a minimum of 10 minutes to properly walk through the things that motivate someone in order to make sure that you're getting a real answer. And I'll give you a quick example. A lot of people will tell me that their primary motivator in this business is to help people, and that's great. It's certainly a benefit to want to help people if you're going to get into the medical device field. But if you don't have any history at all of actually helping people, then how real can that be as a motivator? And what I mean by that is I've asked that question before, and someone will say I'm motivated by helping people, and I'll say, okay, what is it you're doing today that's scratching that itch for you, or that's proving that you actually do like to help people? And they'll either sit there with a totally blank look on their face, or occasionally you'll have someone that says, hey, I'm a volunteer for the Big Brother and Big Sister program. I've been doing it for the last 5 years. Or I volunteer in my church, or I volunteer in my community. I actually had someone recently that volunteered in a nursing home for 4 years, right? So someone with that, I can definitively say, yeah, helping people is something for you because you have a history of doing it. So again, one of those things to make sure either side you're on, to dive deep into somebody's motivators and make sure they properly align with the job at hand.